All right, all right. We are live. Okay. Let me turn my phone down because this is going to be a very interesting topic that Sister Deborah is about to cover. Okay. There we go. Okay. Here we go again. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Devil platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely, lovely evening in which the Most High Yah has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I got a pretty good topic. And I'm going to give you what the Spirit of the Creator revealed unto me. And I'm going to tell you, I was so excited to embrace what he was giving me because it reminded me of what I was speaking on earlier on a video about how the Father is going to give us something on top of something. You get what I'm saying? I know without a doubt he those that he is using as his spiritual seeds, we have to climb on top of what you're hearing, what you're being taught, what you understand. We have to get to the point where we're not listening to all these voices in the land. And it's real hard. It is really hard. And that we can hear the Father. See, we can't hear all the voices in the land and hear the Father too, because they will sound him. I mean, they're all these voices, you wouldn't even allow yourself to hear him in your spirit because you're hearing too many voices in your flesh to where you can't hear what he's saying with his quiet voice in the spirit. But he did me real well today by giving me a little something, something. And I'm going to tell y'all, I give him glory, honor, and praise for what he shared with me. And when he shared that with me, I said, okay, Father, I'm going to climb on top of this again. And I know we've been on this topic several times, but as long as he have allowed me to live and run in my lane, I'm going to continue to find room to speak on the things that he gives me in this day and time, because what he gives me is on top of what he has already given us all. You see why? Because he knows what today needs. He knows that those prophecies were given way back for this day, but he needs to show his power in those that he's using. And how does he do that? He clams on top of what was already said. Now, let me explain something. The prophecy is not to be changed. It's not to be switched from one side to the other. It's not to be turned upside down. It is to remain as he has given it unto us through his word. I ain't talking about the words we read and we get, because a lot of it been smeared. But through his word, he is the word. And when we understand by him being the statement that he was making in the Gospel of John, I love it, because I asked him, I said, Father, you sound fierce. He said, I am. He said, I am. That's what he said. I said, wait a minute. I'm reading this, but you sound fierce. And that was years ago when I said that. And I know it in the Gospel of John, when the Ruach took me, the Spirit of the Creator, and he took me above what was said in the Gospel of John. It says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Yah, and the Word was Yah. Verse 2. The same was in the beginning with Yah. Now, you know, I told you I ain't got no sense. My thing is, why are you saying all that? That's what I'm telling you, this is when I was in the class in the wilderness. I'm like asking him, why are you saying all that? Why are you repeating yourself like that? What's going on with that? And in it, you can't discern his fierce, but I can. See, that's the difference in what I was saying, clamming on top. of what is said. Even though you can read what it says, but it's saying more than what your flesh can comprehend. So he himself has to come in. Even when stuff is smeared, he the only one can come in your spirit and wipe that mess up and get it right. This is what I was saying earlier in the video. This is how Sister Deborah can try the spirit by the spirit and use the discerning spirit to really tell you who's who and what's what. Being so, my calling ain't to say who, you ain't no prophet, you a false prophet. No, he didn't call me here for that mission. I was called to the tribe of Judah, okay? As a prophetess among the tribe of Judah, okay? So therefore, my calling is not to tell this false prophet and this prophet, you're a false prophet or you a prophet. But I am to discern them. Now I can tell a prophet and a prophetess to stand down, but I can't tell the fake prophets because they belong to the father of lies. You see? And I can warn them to stand down, but they're not going to listen to me. They listen to the father of lies, their father. You see? So what I'm saying is, even though I'm just called to the tribe of Judah, it does not limit what I'm capable of saying and what Yah is capable of handing over to me to say. I can't put a cap on it, you guys, because I know that I was called to the tribe of Judah. I can't just put a cap on it and say, that's the only place I'm going to go. That's the only one I'm going to. No, I can't, because when the spirit of the creator who created all things, when he say go left, you go left. He said go right, go right. It ain't about, okay, I know I mission you for here, but I'm talking go left, go right. You see what I'm saying? So when I see in the book of the Gospel of John, I see here beyond what normal people, when I say normal people who just pick up this book and read, see, I see fierce. And I'm trying to figure out what's all that about. And because of John 1, the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 2, 1 and 2, I see fierce. I see power. That's what I see when I read that. I see fierce and power. To where you can sit down with a million people and they'll tell you, I don't see that. But I see it. I'm a student of the Ruach. I'm taught from the wilderness. He gives me things. He teaches me himself. And as my question to him in the spirit realm, when you sound like you fierce, he said, I am. Because if you notice in the Gospel of John, it says, verse 1, in the beginning. In the beginning. Then when you get to Genesis chapter 1, what do you see? In the beginning. They still don't see it, Father, y'all. See, that's what I'm telling y'all. See, what y'all don't understand, you don't know what you're dealing with. Y'all run around here listening to any and everybody, and they ain't fooling you all, feeding you all nothing but trash. And everybody seem like they fit for just trash. Now look at the Gospel of John. The Gospel of John, according to John, it's not the Gospel of John. It says the Gospel according to John in chapter 1, verse 1. The first thing I said, in the beginning was the Word. Then I go over here in Genesis chapter 1. It says, in the beginning, Yah created the heavens and the earth. Notice they both in the beginning. Why? Because the Word needs the power, and the power needs the Word to bring all that he brought forth. Yah is the Word. So when he speaks the word, and his power brings it forth. So here in Genesis, in chapter 1, it says, in the beginning, Yah created heavens and the earth. Then you go here in the gospel, according to John, verse 1, in the beginning, letting y'all know that the word is attached to the beginning and Yah is detached to the word. It's letting you know the Father is speaking the word, and the word by power is being brought forth by power. So when you get into the gospel according to John, you hear in the beginning was the word, and the word was with Yah, and the word was Yah. Verse 2, the same was in the beginning with Yah. Now, what beginning are they speaking of? Genesis 1. The chapter that the Father told me. If they miss one, they done missed the whole book. 1 and 2, they done missed the whole book. And they think they got it made. They think they did precept it, line it, a little here and a little there. They think they can find all the lost books and all the found books. They just think they got it made. And he said he don't care what book they didn't found, what book was taken out, what words were added. If you missed the beginning, you've missed the end. And this is what you see today. So, Sister Deborah is coming the same way for Genesis chapter 6. And the hurt that's in Genesis chapter 6, it's some hurt there for me. And I ain't gonna sit here and tell you no lie. It's some hardcore hurt in Genesis 6. I have to back it back because I asked him a question this morning. And you know what that question was, y'all? Why? Why? That's what I asked the Father. Why? And the answer he gave me was awesome. And that's what we're going to cover today. Let's go to Genesis chapter 6. Now, when I get into Genesis chapter 6, I'm going to break this thing down. I mean, like down, 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 down. And then I'm going to pull that bad boy up. Okay? But I'm going to break it down and then I'm going to pull that bad boy up. Okay? The reason why Sister Deborah said I hurt from it is because I think of being 63 years old and been taught from the wilderness by the spirit of the Ruach. And to know that the spirits of individuals are so lost to the point, and they think they just got it made. And sometimes I wonder, is it okay to say they lied? Is it okay to say they lied? And I don't know, because I think that this is still what Yah created. I think he created them to only know what they want to know in their flesh. And this is where they're at today. And when I cover Genesis 6, like I say, I'm going to pull that bad boy down, but watch me bring it up. Okay? So let's go. When you get to Genesis chapter 6, it reads, let's just deal with this. We just going to deal with Genesis chapter 6, verse 1. The name of this topic of this message is the lies regarding Genesis 6. And the reason why I decided to come here this evening with this topic is because when I asked him why, he broke that thing down and told me, and I had what he told me, I didn't know. I never, ever knew that. I did not know that. So I'm going to give you a treat tonight. Okay. So in Genesis chapter 6, it says, and it came to pass. What the Father wants you to know that many things have been smeared, but we're going to take it at face value of what is said. And then we're going to pull in spirit and truth. Spirit and truth gonna come on in, okay? Not only is spirit and truth gonna come in, you're gonna see the bright light of it all, okay? How about that? So in Genesis chapter 1, Genesis chapter 6, verse 1, and it came to pass, wait a minute, it came to pass when, it's telling you about what was going on during this time. And when you hear it came to pass is trying to pour you on in to what really triggered the creator to call this shot. You can only go here with the Ruach of the Most High Yah. You can't go up in here without him. So anybody in the live chat or hearing my voice, if you have not the light and you understand not spirit and truth, bounce up out of here now. And I'm going to give a few minutes so you can do just that. Because it's no need in you even listening to Sister Deborah. Because like Sister Deborah say, she going to bring that bad boy down, but she going to pull that bad boy up at the same time. Okay? So anybody, take out time right now to pull up out of here. Every serpent seed, go on, slither your tail up out of here. Because this is not for you. Okay. Let's go. Genesis chapter 6 and verse 1. It reads, and it came to pass when men, stop. Right there. It's telling you. It came to pass when men, you got to stop. He's telling us what triggered it all. What you mean it all, Deborah? For him to create it and at the same time destroy it all. You were just in Genesis 1 where he created everything. We have moved to Genesis 6 and everything is destroyed. Now, we knew it took time. We know it was some time, some years in this. But still in all, look how long we have lived. We in the year 2024. You see what I'm saying? We way past a lot of years. So during Genesis 6, it was some years. Okay? So when you hear him, he said, and it came to pass. He's trying to show you where something came past. When men begin to multiply. Stop. That's it. He wants us to grip the idea that flesh began to multiply. And we're going to understand who this flesh was. On the face of the earth. So now we have to start seeing it. Wait a minute. They were multiplying and you getting ready to give them a charge, give Noah a charge that you finna end them? Why did you let them multiply? Why are they multiplying? Why did you let them multiply if you know you was getting ready to end it? You the key to life and death. Come on now. Come on now, Father. Y'all talk to me. You see what I'm saying? So you got to see where the problem really was in Genesis 6. What I realized, the tribe in which Yah has sent me to be in the midst of, they never had it, y'all, up here. They never had it. Because today ain't the day that they came over on ships, you guys. Today ain't the day when they lost their promised land. Today ain't the day. Today, you can't connect to turmoil on these ships coming over here. You didn't have a book. You had something greater than the book. You had the most high Yah upon you. You just had the opportunity to. We had a lot back then. We got a lot now. And you're no different than you were back then. Let's pull up. No, we got to pull down. So in Genesis chapter 6, verse 1, he wants you to focus on it came to pass. Something was going on that have come to pass. When men begin to multiply on the face of the earth and daughters were born unto them. Now we're talking about a multitude of people, y'all. That's what he's trying to get you to see. Now, who are these people These are Satan's seeds, y'all. These are Satan's seeds. Because the men were doing something that was not pleasing to the Most High Yah creation itself. It matches Yeshua coming on the scene and speaking regarding the day of Noah. What I'm saying here matches what Yeshua said to his disciples regarding the day of Noah. It matches. But we as individuals, we took it, bend it up, bend it out, threw it left, threw it right, threw it all kind of ways, and made it the way we wanted to see it and accept it. Now, let's stick with me now. In Genesis chapter 6, verse 1, it says, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them. Bag it down. That's it. Stop right there. Let's stop right there. What was going on with men and daughters? Satan's seed. Drop down to verse 5, and it'll tell you what's going on. Verse 5, and Yah saw the wickedness of men were great in the earth. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Look at verse 5. And Yah saw the wickedness of man was great when? In the earth. Go back up to verse 1. Men began to multiply on the what? The face of the earth. When you see what was going on, it had to do with men using their daughters. We dealing with the serpent seed, y'all. When you drop down to verse 5, it says, Yah saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, that every imagination thought of his heart was only evil continually. Continually, to the point, what, Deborah? That, and it, verse 6, and it repent Yah that he made man on the earth. And it grieved him at heart. See, what they got away with lying, y'all, it's lying. They wanted you to take the whole overall of Noah and rest it on fallen angels and rest it on giants. And it had nothing to do with it. It had nothing to do with it. These were serpent seeds. These were serpent seeds. See, they didn't, even to today, they reject the fact that Genesis 3 and 15, the Father already had charged Satan. You're going to have your seeds, and you're going to have your seed, and I'm going to have my seed. He already charged him that your seed and my seed, and there's going to be hate between the two. He's not talking about Mary having the Messiah, because the Messiah didn't come here with hate. Praise the mighty Yah. But the Father had his seeds that hate, wicked, and evil, and iniquity. So in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, you got to deal with the two on the earth. So who was these men multiplying? And daughters was what? Born to who? Them. Something was going on. When you get over to Yeshua explaining it, it was marrying and giving in marriage. Marrying and giving in marriage. Like unto here. These men were Satan's seeds, taking their babies, young, very young, and y'all saw this. And they got away with it again, just as they did it in the garden. Blamed it on woman. Woman brought in sin. Woman chose the serpent seed. That's why when the Father came looking, he wasn't looking for woman. He know the contract wasn't with woman. It was with the one that he charged. The one instruction, the one direction, and the one consequence. He was looking for that one. But the world switched it over to woman, just as they did with Genesis 6. Man getting away with it again. And that's why you see all this in the world today. Yep, James Brown said it. This is a man's world, and y'all done gave it to you. And you done messed up from the floor. And the kingdom have you already assigned. You see? And I thank him for that. It's a beautiful thing that he has already got it written. To me, it's beautiful. That's an awesome plan. Now, here is showing you that the daughters were both the serpent in Genesis 3 and 15. You're going to have your seed, and I'm going to have mine. My seed is going to crush your seed head. You see? And your seed going to come after steps that I have ordered for my seed. And that you're going to come after their heel. You see how one going to come after the other. One coming after the steps that Yah has ordered in his seeds. You see what I'm saying? And that's the serpent. And what we as the spiritual seed, we got to crush the serpent head. Every time he's playing, we got to crush his head. And when we crush his head, he gets his butt on out of here and try to come another way. But a lot of times when we crush his head with our heel, because our heel is our steps that the Father has ordered, and that's what the serpent is chasing, your steps that the Father has ordered for you from heaven. So if you wonder why is things also happening to you, and you just trying to just hug on to the Father, but yet all these things is happening because the serpent is constantly after your heel. His seeds are constantly after your heel. Because he knows that your heel carries the steps that the Father has ordered. You see? But you have to crush that heel, that head of that serpent seed. You see what I'm saying? To keep it going. And get up, heal, and keep going. Now here, you can see where here is the sons of Yah. You got to separate the sons of Yah. Cannot be fallen angels. Where in the rocks behind did the world get that from? No, this is not what's going on. Men, as one man in the garden, was given one instruction, one direction, and one consequences before woman was even created. Here we are in Genesis chapter 6, verse 1. Men were multiplying. Now they got daughters. That's showing you women that these babies ain't yours. These babies belong to these men. And this is why you can't get control over your household. Because that same man that has breeded those children, his ways still rest within them. And women won't even tell the truth and shame the devil and say that's so true. They will not accept it. This is my child. This is my baby. I raised you. Baby, let me tell you something. You cannot raise something that's already raised in their bloodline. You can't do it. You can do all, you can think you can rule it and you can control it. You can't control nothing. Those babies are that man's seeds. So what happens? It's telling you why we end world. Because of Genesis chapter 6, verse 1 and Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. This is what they were doing. Their imagination was wicked and evil. Y'all don't get it. The men had their daughters and they were multiplying. And verse 5, And y'all saw the wickedness of these men that was great. Why was it so great on the earth? Because they were multiplying in great numbers. And then they started having babies and start selling them like a man that has a farm full of cattle. That's what they were doing, y'all. But what happened? When the sons of Yah saw the ways of men and their daughters, to me, fair means many of things. Youth, first and foremost. These women, these girls, youth, were young. And they saw the men's daughters. Now watch this here. And the men, listen to how verse 2 say, that the sons of Yah saw the daughters of who? The daughters of who? The daughters of who? The daughters of who? Men. Daughters and men is what caused the Father to end everything he created. Why? Because his own spiritual seeds, his sons of Yah, got down here, saw the daughters. And the truth of the matter, they saw the whole orchestration that man was doing with their daughters, and they desired. Why you say that they saw what they, because don't forget, let's continue to read. Not only did the sons of Yah saw the who? The daughters that what? Belong to men. Okay? That's what you got to get it right now. It ain't that the daughters only, but they belong to the men. Watch this here. That they were fair. Fair has a lot to do with youth, whether you all will accept it or not. They saw them young, virgins, and babies in a sense. Now watch this here. And they took them wives of all which they chose. How are you taking wives from among these men, taking their daughters? Because these men were selling their children, their daughters, off to these men, as many as they please. Like someone had a whole farm and cattle, and they going, how would I say it? They closing their farm down. They ready to sell everything, when that's what the men were doing back in them days. That's why when Yeshua picked it up and expound on it, he said marrying and giving in marriage. Because back in this days, that's how they was justifying and clarifying and identified as marriage. You see what I'm saying? But what was Yeshua saying? That they would be marrying and giving in marriage. Why is Yeshua identifying that with the days of Noah? Because you all took it out of the wrong contents and have taught, preached, teach the scholars, the heathens, the Gentiles, the Hebrew Israelites, everybody lied. And they made it about fallen angels and giants. And they had nothing to do with it. It don't even fit this here. It don't fit. Now listen to what it says in verse 2. And the sons of Yah, those are the seeds of the Spirit, y'all. They saw what men were doing with their daughters, and they too decide, woo, I'm going to take as many as I will. Here it is. It's telling you. And they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. As if something was being sold at a very low price. And they was just buying as many as they possibly can, because they saw what the sons, what the serpent seeds were doing with their daughters, and then they took as many they pleased. You see what I'm saying? Why did Yeshua pull up and speak to his disciples about the days of Noah? Now watch this here, y'all. Did you all understand that when Yeshua warned his disciples about the end days and how they're going to what all they're going to be drinking and feasting and planting and building and marrying and giving in marriage. You never heard out of the son of Yah with the son of man, not one word about fallen angels nor giants. Praise the mighty Yah. Only one could have brought us confirmation of Genesis 6 was Yeshua HaMashiach. And he spoke not a word. Why? Because it's a lie, y'all. It wasn't something that was true. And they never detached the two together. When he spoke of the days of Noah, he spoke of the day of Lot. He nailed that thing. How did we, as billions of people on the earth, since the earth exists, since the time of this book, how did we lie that long? And how did we get away with it? The Father. The Father let the lie be exactly that lie all that time. It had nothing to do with giants. It had nothing to do with fallen angels. It was the serpent seeds. Well, no angels falling from nowhere. And you can't pull up in no book where it's telling you outside of the books that they say that has been taken. And even if you pull up those books, whenever you got the sick mind to believe Jasper, Apocalypse, Enoch books outweighs the Messiah word, then you sicker than sick. Because it's no way the Father gonna let them speak it. And then the Messiah come on top of it to tell you what the end day is going to be like and miss out by saying nothing about fallen angels and nothing about giants. You ain't hear Yeshua telling you that. It's going to be like the days of Noah. We're going to have fallen angels and we're going to have giants. And no mind never thought to check into that. Because this is showing you how the voices that people hear, they just believe it. Because they are the serpent seed. They are created to believe any and everything that the voices in the land is saying. And they are liars. They are the fathers of lies. The father of lies. These are his children. Their mission, their purpose, their destiny, eternal, is to be a liar. Now, here you see where the son, in verse 2, let's go back to Genesis chapter 6, verse 2, that the sons of Yah saw the daughters of men. You see how it still take you back to men, M-E-N, M-E-N. It's taking you back because this really was the problem. They was the serpent seed. And man has taught this verse as if fallen angels had something to do with this, and they didn't have nothing to do with it. It was the serpent seed. That's why the men were multiplying. They didn't want to detach men multiplying. They hid the serpent seed all that time, y'all. That's what they did. For Genesis chapter 1, they hid it. How did they hide it, Deborah? Because they rather tell you it's something fallen than something that was in the men already. Just as Cain, he was the serpent seed. He was born of the serpent seed. You see? He didn't fall. You see what I'm saying? I don't get this thing. I do, but I'm just using that as a... You see how the lies? So you can't really say that they didn't know. It's called lies. They are the children of the father of lies. Their whole mission is to be able to teach and preach this book and its words out of the whole content of that's not lining up with spirit and truth. So what is he saying? And then it tells you they took all which they chose. Don't y'all know that they had to pay for those wives? Just as they do today. You see this sex trafficking. You see what I'm saying? You see this thing about these daughters are being missing. Nobody ain't detaching it and putting it together. This is what what you call it? Yeshua was speaking of. Marrying and giving and giving, as if you don't even have no power over being given as a wife and given as marriage. All over the world, these men are giving their daughters to men. Heaven sees it. So that's why Yeshua pulled up and spoke of it to his disciples. Now, why are you, wait a minute, I got a question. Why are you speaking it to the disciples? They're not going to be here in the end days. Think, y'all, think. Because he knew Deborah would be. Because you got 12 disciples, and you're actually saying that it's going to be like the days of Noah in the end days. Here I am, I'm here. Check, you're right. It's like exactly what you said. But the teaching of Genesis 6 has been built up on a lie. There wasn't fallen angels. It was serpent seeds in the men and in their daughters. What was they detaching to? What was they being detached to? The sons of Yah. The wise of the spirit. The knowledge that was spirit. These men were selling and giving them as many as they pleased to mess the sons of Yah up here. Let me give you another example. Remember Solomon? Yah was telling him, don't mess with them women, other women, or they're going to take him from who he served and what he believed. That's why he didn't want them with him. Leave them other women alone. Leave all them women alone. They're not of your nation. Leave them alone. They're going to take you away from what you have always believed. And they did it. Same warning. Well, this is what was going on here, y'all. Same thing. The sons of Yah were like unto Solomon. They were men of Yah. But they got tangled up with the men of the serpent seed. Not fallen angels. This basic men. Just like Adam. He only had one instruction, one direction, and one consequences. And he had everything in the world. And he couldn't even keep that one. Why? Because he was a serpent seed from the beginning. Same way with the men in Genesis 6. It wasn't fallen angels, y'all. That's a lie. And if anybody sit and find books and they tell them Enoch said it, who gives a rap behind what Enoch said? Nothing Enoch can say to Sister Deborah that's being taught from the wilderness by the Spirit of the Creator. What can Enoch say to me? Nothing. Because nothing Enoch can say can redeem me. Nothing Enoch can say can deliver me. Nothing Enoch can say can lead me to the light. Nothing Enoch can say can teach me spirit and truth. Nothing Enoch can say that can give me the power that's greater within me than he that's in the world. Tell me, what can Enoch do for me? So here we are. The sons of Yah got caught up with the serpent seed. Verse 3. And Yah said, here we go now, my spirit. Wait a minute, hold up, Father. Now I'm going to bring them up and I'm going to take them down. Look what he said. Anybody in the live chat, what is he saying? My spirit shall not always strive with man. What is he saying? Anybody in the live chat? Verse 3. And Yah said, my spirit. Oh, Father Yah. What spirit is he talking about, y'all? Anybody in the live chat can answer that. Please do so. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm so waiting. Anybody? Let me see. Somebody said something. So Jasser confirmed that. That's a really good thing. That it was me. Why Enoch said? Let me not get into it, but it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. I don't listen to Jasser, but the thing about it is, I hear all of them saying that they said it was fallen angels. So I'm just assuming that all the lost books, whether they lost or found, you see, when it all said and done, everything gonna come before my Father's throne. It is gonna be not the way Sister Deborah says it, but the way that the Father have said it all the time. When he say every knee gonna bow, every tongue gonna confess, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna be confessing, because now who he is gonna stand before. Outside of that, they ain't gonna confess to nothing righteous. They ain't confessing nothing. They gonna be confessing because of who he is. Not his righteousness, not his just, not his anything. Yah has a ruach. The Holy Spirit. That is exactly, y'all all are right. You all are right. It is his ruach and his Holy Spirit. Perfect. That is perfect. Perfect. That is perfect. He is telling them, he is actually saying, striving my spirit. Now, wait a minute. Hold up now. Because I was on him. I was on him today, y'all. I was on him because he said something to me that made me say, oh, Father, I just thank you for constantly teaching me. So this is what happened. When we get to verse 3, it says, and Yah said, my spirit, you're right, his ruach, his Holy Spirit, shall not always strive with man. What is he talking about? Because what they did not know is this. Where every man born onto the earth has a image, which is like unto Yah, which is a spirit. It is not the spirit of Yah, it's an image, meaning a spirit. Yah is a spirit, and he gave them an image like unto his spirit, but it's your own spirit. So he's not talking about your own spirit. He's telling you all and me that my spirit, Deborah, my ruach, my Holy Spirit is not going to always strive with the sons of men. The sons of Yah, with the sons of Yah. He's not speaking to the son of men. He's not speaking to the men and the daughters. He's speaking to the sons of Yah. That his spirit shall not always strive with them. Why? Because they came down here as what? Spiritual seeds. And he letting you know. Let me see now what y'all going to say about strive. See, when they smeared these things, y'all, they smeared it real good. Only one can pull up that thing is the ruach. He's the only one that'll pull up in that thing and clear that thing up. So I'm like saying, Father, I'm going to go into strive and see if I can understand it in Greek and Hebrew. I want to know, guess what, y'all? It's meaning pleading, turmoiling, content. All of those words, none of it means that he gave up on them. He just said, I'm not going to turmoil with them. Let me get my words out here. Let me give you the words he's talking about. He said, Deborah, I'm not going to always plead with them, but keep begging them to leave them men and them daughters alone. I'm not going to plead with them. So he's talking about, I'm not going to quarrel with them, Deborah. I'm not going to plead with them, Deborah. I'm not going to dispute with them, Deborah. I'm not going to be content with them, Deborah. I'm not going to be doing all that because they flesh too. They flesh too, Deborah. So I'm not going to be doing all that in the spirit realm with them, trying to get them to not, do this and not do this and do that. I'm not going to strive. And that's a good word, y'all. Believe it or not, when you put that thing together, you'll realize he ain't gave up on them, y'all. He didn't give up on them. He didn't give up on the sons of y'all. No, he did not. He said he's not going to always strive. His spirit is not going to be turmoiling with them, begging them and pleading them, telling them, don't do it. No, don't get with them. Don't do this. Stop it. Don't quarrel with them. He's not going to be contending with them. He's not going to waste that time. And that's all he said. That's all he said. But one thing he said in there, you still are my sons. See, y'all don't get that. Y'all do not get it. When it all said and done, the sons of Yah, he's just telling you because they got my Holy Spirit or they got my Ruach, because they're the seed of the Spirit. But I ain't going to be sitting here dealing with them like that, Deborah. They out here because they flesh too. They're going to be doing things that they flesh. And that's what had happened. They let their flesh get the best of them with the serpent seed, men and daughters. That's what happened, y'all. That's all that happened. And I like what he says, because notice he said, and Yah said, my spirit shall not always strive with man. He's talking about the Ruach, the spirit of who he is, for that he also is flesh. That's what made them choose those daughters. They saw what the men were doing with their own daughters, and they decided, hey, I want some too. And they they bought these daughters from the flesh of man, which was serpent seeds. Okay. Now, yet his days shall be 120 years. Wait a minute. Listen to this, y'all. Maybe I haven't got this here to the fullness. It says, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. Now, isn't that the same number of days it took Noah to build the ark? Isn't that strange? Did not it take somewhere along that amount for Noah to build the ark? 120 years. Come on now. Come on. Now, once he said that, you have to be able to cut off from there. And when it says there were giants in the earth those days, what they trying to get you to understand, let's say if Noah has built an ark, okay, and it's going to rain. It's going to flood the whole world. When you see one thing he wants you to understand, they're trying to place giants into this issue. It has nothing detached. They died like everybody else. You see what I'm saying? So what's the deal? Oh, because you want to detach giants to fallen angels and fallen angels to giants. Giants always exist. Ain't that who David had a fight with? I mean, destroyed. And then he had that one that David destroyed. Didn't he have family? So you see how they lied in Genesis 6. And the way they did it, they took that wicked and evil from men. They took it from the men, y'all. Placed daughters there and hid the purpose of Yah ending it in that day and time was that his got detached to the serpent seeds. And that's what, and why was there an issue there, y'all? You know why there was an issue? From the first sentence, it told you the issue. Men began to multiply. And who were men? Serpent seeds. And then after they began to multiply, what was happening? Daughters were born unto them. So more what? Serpent seeds. You get what I'm saying? So this is really what was going on. And there was lesser of the sons of Yah, because the men were multiplying. So the serpent seeds were multiplying, and then they began to have daughters unto them, just showing you the multitude of the serpent seed that was on the earth during that time. How do you know, Deborah? When you go down to verse 5, it tells you that. And God saw that the wickedness of men were great in the earth. He's not talking about the sons of Yah. He's disappointed because they fell in tune with the serpent seeds of men. And he says, and Yah saw the wickedness of men was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of their hearts were only evil and wicked. So I've got to end this thing, because minds then got detached to the serpent seed. They lost their way. He had every right to end it at the beginning of Genesis. Why? Because he allowed it to come back and it didn't change. But he also knew that he had another ram in the bush, and that was the Messiah, to bring his sons back to him. So if they got off the course, then that's all right, Deborah. I got a ram in the bush gonna bring them home. How about that? How about that? You didn't know that, did you? No. But here, the ram in the bush wasn't for this day and time. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I created, I ended. How you like me now? Why? Because the sons of Yah from heaven got detached with the serpent seed and what? Their daughters. And what was that be said? They were going to start to produce. And if the sons of Yah start to produce, Satan's seed, men, and their daughters, Satan's seed, what was going to be developed? It's going to what? Execute the sons of Yah. They won't be on the earth ruling. Just as he told Solomon to leave them women alone, because they was fertile. That's what Yah was just telling them. Don't get around. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. He did it anyway. He did it anyway. But because he was what? The spiritual seed, he shall be in the kingdom. See, that's what y'all don't understand. These sons of Yah, he took them out. What do you mean, Deborah? It's what y'all still don't understand. He told us that we are the temple. We are that temple that he abide in. But you bring that trash to my temple, I'm going to take your tail out. And that's what he does. Yah is perfect at that. I've seen him in many situations, even me belonging to a church. Seen him when one did something, he took their tails out. I mean, they died, y'all. I'm serious. They were out. He said, before I let you bring that trash to the temple and where I abide, I have to take your flesh up out of here. And he's perfect at that. He does it all the time. That's identical to what he did here in Genesis 6. He ended the world. He took your tail out and everything else. You see how he did that? He took it out. Wait a minute. Minds have got caught up with the serpent seed. Wait a minute. And the serpent seed multiplying and they having daughters. Oh, man. And they every imagination and the thoughts are wicked and evil. And then here go minds detach themselves. Time to end it. Cut it off. He closed that bad boy. And that's why when the Messiah, Yeshua, poured in, he ain't said nothing. Yeshua didn't say nothing about giants. He explained to us it's going to be like the days of Noah. One of the things he said, marrying and giving in marriage. What is that detached to? Men. Y'all still don't get it, do you? It's still detached to men. They are hiding behind MEN, y'all. They are hiding and lying and deceiving. MEN is doing all that work. That's why I asked him, I said, well, why is it Adam never owned up to none of it? Deborah, he was a serpent seed. Serpent seed don't own up to nothing. How you going to own up to any wrong and any unrighteous and unjust and wicked and evil when that's who you created to be? He said he couldn't own up to it. That's his mission. And that's how this mission in Genesis 6 was. These were serpent seeds and their daughters. They were producing serpent seeds and they were serpent seeds. You see? You notice you don't see the mothers in there. You don't see the women in there. You see the men owning their daughter like property. That's all. And that's how you see today. The men want the women to be up under them, so submissive to where they can rule and control them the same way it was back in the days of Noah. In this day and time, you ain't got no business being submissive to nothing or nobody. If you do, you got this one life that you're breathing that belongs to Yah. He's letting you live it. And if you choose to live it in the full control of a flesh of a man, you go right ahead. That's one life. But know this, Yah is perfect. And when he that you are with and sinning with, whether it's your husband, your boyfriend, or your concubine, or whatever, you're going down to the lake of hell with him. I can bet you that. I can guarantee you are going down with him. That's how y'all rumble. He ain't gonna let you be on this earth submissive to a man, and he telling you it's okay for you to do all this here, this, and you stay under my feet. You only a bed for me for bed and clean. Y'all ain't told you to have one life, one breath that he gave you, and then he gave you living. And he tells you to take that living and that life and submit it to a man. Y'all ain't told you that. You told yourself, and they told you. So that's why I tell y'all, people, they ain't learned how to step out of this words into the Ruach, let the Ruach step into them, and then he takes them into this word and he disperses it. Now let's continue. So in Genesis chapter 6 and verse 4, it says, there were giants in the earth those days. And after that, giants in those days, and after that, when the sons of Yah, there go the sons of Yah, came into the daughters of men. See, there it is. It's all, look, y'all, that's all it's about. Giants and fallen angels ain't got nothing to do with Genesis 6. And the whole world believes it. And I'm going to have to order me that book to see where it says, I think it's Jasper. Is it Jasper? A Jasper? I want to see it says that he said that, because I have not seen 163 years. I ain't never heard nobody, even the Hebrew Israelite, they tell you, men tell you that this was the fallen angels and the giants in all those books that they keep saying was lost and that they taken out. Where are they getting that trash from? Okay, they took the books out. They took stuff out. Why ain't what Yeshua said and he pulling up? Why ain't everything he said? And tell you what, let's put him to the side. Matthew, Luke, John, and all of them are saying what he said. But why are all of them saying and repeating something that does not include fallen angels and giants? See, this is where you know it's something been smeared up and smeared down. Now, honestly, y'all, when we tell you what it did, it allowed today to escape iniquity, wicked, sin, abomination, lust, marrying, giving in marriage, all the things that you normally find under the characteristics of what's going on in this world that detach to men. They're hidden behind it all because you can't see why is it that it was said that it's going to be like the days of Noah and it's going to be like the days of Lot. You see? But they never included giants and fallen angels. When who really was it in Genesis 6? Men, serpent seed, and men and their daughters. So that's what it says in verse 4. Here. And there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of Yah came into the daughters of men. Now, what you hear scholars and many of them saying, heathens, Gentiles, Hebrew Israelite, Africans, European, everybody saying that the giants were having sex with the daughters. And these here mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. They missed it, y'all. Do y'all, anybody in the live chat know what was the mighty men which were of old, men of renown? Do y'all know what that was? Anybody? Anybody? And it's sad. It's a sad, sad thing, y'all. The reason what makes it sad is, you guys, this has been thousands and thousands of years ago. And here it is, the year 2024, and still yet, the lie is still reigning. And this, we are in the year of 2024. That's thousands of years. Okay. And what it says, the children of them, when the sons of Yah, highlight that, women, the sons of Yah. I need women to highlight it so they can understand what is taking place. Came into the daughter of men. The same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. They're giving you a look of the serpent seed uniting with the spiritual seed. Coming together, they bring forth mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. When who come together? The serpent seed and the spiritual seed come together. They bring forth mighty men which were of old, men of renown. Now you have to dig in there and you'll find out this didn't have nothing to do with giants. This didn't have nothing to do with fallen angels. It's just the spiritual seed got got overpowered by the serpent seed. I said it an example. You remember when Adam was in the garden? They went straight to the serpent seed, the serpent tree, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Not wasting any time. That's where they went. That's what took place here. The sons of Yah saw something, just as Adam and Eve. And they chose. They made a choice. But they still the sons of Yah. He said, you can't pluck them out of his hand. I know. People think that you can, but you can't. He said, before I let them bring this nonsense, Deborah, I locked it in. Noah built the ark. I'm wiping them out. He said that. I'm not going to let you bring that to the temple where I abide, where I deal with you, where I turmoil with you. I have to take you out. Because now, not only did you get one wife, you got as many as you please. Y'all see, yeah. So you got to take it back to what it's really trying to warn you about. So here go Yeshua come in the scene, and he began to say the same thing. It's going to be like the days of Noah. One thing a lot of the Hebrew Israelites don't understand, they done messed up from the floor and don't even know it. Because when Yeshua pull up and say, okay, it's going to be like the days of Noah, they're going to be feasting and drinking. That right there should make them wonder, wait a minute, y'all, that's what we doing. We calling all these feast days. We coming together and feasting. He is not talking to the world in sense when he's speaking of this, y'all. He's saying feasting, drinking, marrying, giving in marriage, the days of Lot, planning, growing, building, selling, feasting. He's telling us all that everyone is going to be caught up in and not caught up in him. You see what I'm saying? That's why I don't deal with all these days. I don't need to feast with you. I don't need to do anything and drink with you. Why? You didn't have it right when you was doing it back then, and now you're trying to mimic what they did back then today, and they didn't have it right, and you ain't got it right either. And none of it is going to mount up to anything if you're not following the footsteps of Yeshua. You got to follow the footsteps of Yeshua. And if he had a feast day, then you follow that. That day that he's feasting. But all this others, and if he had a Passover, you follow that. But all this other stuff, kick that stuff to the curb. He was the one we were supposed to mimic. He come to throw all that old stuff to the wayside. But he reminded us that the time of the end is going to be like unto the day of Noah. Now, I could say if he said it's going to be like unto the days of Noah, meaning they're going to be just doing things, and when the time comes, they're not going to even be concerned about it's raining and they're all going to die. No, he broke it down. They're going to be feasting, drinking, marrying, giving in marriage, buying, selling, planting, building. He's telling us all of that. The days of Noah and the days of Lot going to be in our days where we're going to see it. We are to feel that thing, y'all. We are to see it in the natural and feel that thing in the spirit. What was spoken as a warning to us. But we rather get on this devil platform and listen to everybody's warnings as the Father is saying, he prophesied this, he prophesied that, he prophesied as if. We are so blind, we can't see his prophecies. So, the conclusion is the children that they begin to have, the sons of Yah, and the serpent seed begins to have children. And that they bare them and became mighty men, which of old, men of renown. No, y'all, these weren't giants. And these weren't fallen angels. These was the serpent seed mixing with the spiritual seed. And the Father had to end it right then and there. He didn't like the look of it. Because the serpent seed mind was continually wicked and great in the earth. And every imagination and thought of their hearts were evil and wicked continually. Now, my question was to the Father. It seems as the 120 years you say man has was almost the 120 years it could have taken Noah to build. But my question to the Father was this. I said, well, okay, that's it. I see something going on. I see something going on. I see something going on today, and I seen something going on back then that was upholding many things. Anybody in the live chat, can you feel, can you see in the spirit realm that something is upholding a great deal of everything? Something is upholding, because I'm like saying, something wrong with this. Look how this lie in Genesis have existed. And the only way you know, if you have traveled throughout your life and you've heard it. You all, I've been in church since I was a little girl, trying to go to church. I was one that wants to hear what the pastor said. Why? Because I was hearing something else while he was teaching. So when he finished, I can even rightly divide what he was saying. And I never could understand how I was able to do that. I was young. So when he went to telling me something, I said to him, oh no, oh no. Guess what, y'all? Something has been holding everything up, even today in this day and time. I knew it was something. I knew it was something, but I couldn't pinpoint it. It was holding it up back then. I'm like saying, if you knew it was like that, and you seen the outcome, but you still allow it to be present. Like unto today, Father, y'all. What's going on? What's going on? And then he told me, and this is what the Father said. He said, Deborah, back then in the days of Noah, like it is in this day. He said, grace and mercy is holding up his will. I knew it was something. And when he told me that, I would say, I knew it was something. I knew it was something. Something going on. His grace and his mercy is upholding his will. Grace and mercy is upholding his will. I knew it was something. I knew it was something. For someone to be the creator, to have created all things, it ain't nothing in line according to his just, his upright, his goodness, his greatness, his perfect, his excellence, his wonderful, his kindness, his give and gave. Nothing is upholding none of it. And I'm like saying, something going on. Something going on. So today, he talked to me about Genesis 6. He said, now you see how wrong they had that? He said, it's like unto Genesis chapter 1 and 2. It's like unto Adam in the garden. All of these been lies since the beginning, Deborah. Look how they missed Genesis 1 and 2. And I'm like to him, I'm like saying to the Father, wait a minute, Father, something wrong there. Something wrong. I know I ain't got no sense and I ain't had none. I came here with no sense. I'm talking about in the flesh. I said, but something going on. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. He said, Deborah, you know what it is? He said, my grace and my mercy is upholding my will. I knew it had to be something. And that there, go back to the comforter. Remember Yeshua said, and the comforter would come. A lot of people don't understand who that comforter is. That comforter is coming to comfort your spirit. So your spirit can comfort your flesh. So you can understand this thing in the inside and let it float on the outside. And you can say, I knew it was something. That's who the comforter is. He's coming to comfort you in the spirit. So it can pour out in your flesh and you can stand 10 toes down, knowing spirit and truth and having the light in the right hand. And I'm like saying, I knew it, y'all. I'm telling y'all might not believe this, but I knew it. I knew it was something because a lot of things just don't make sense to Sister Deborah. I'm like, you taking me to the wilderness, showing me all this stuff, teaching me all this stuff. And wait a minute, these people don't know nothing about that. They don't know nothing about that. Father, they ain't read that. They don't understand that. They don't even know Genesis 1 and 2. They don't know Genesis 3 and 15. Father, they lied on Genesis 6. Father, they lied on Revelation already, and Revelation all pulling on up and driving on in. And they just lying. Then I begin to say, can I say they lying? Father, can I say that they lying? Or what is it? He began to teach me. Then he started to teach me about the strong delusion that he has poured out. I mean, it's all, that's what the comforter is. He's coming to give you some clarity so you can be okay. He's coming to comfort you in any and every area of life that you are in so that you can continue. Because a lot of this, none of it makes any sense. You know what? I'm about to go to be a cuckoo clock. Why? I'm trying to figure out in my mind, how is it I'm seeing this? And the scholars and the teachers, because they're serpent seeds. That's their mission. You see? The comfort has to come and comfort me to assure me it ain't you, baby. And when he told me today, you see, back in the days of Noah, you see how long it took it took Noah to build that ark. Then you see how many years I said man had. Notice both of them is the same. He said, that was grace and mercy, Deborah. My will was upheld by my grace and mercy. And then he told me that's how it is today. My grace and mercy is holding all this trash up. And we run around here think we in control. We rule. We got the power. We got the authority. We got the right. And the Father sitting here saying, see that? See how sick they are? They don't see my mercy and grace. They don't see my mercy and grace, Deborah. They don't even see it. My will see it because that's what's holding my will up. Is my grace and mercy. If it had not been for my grace and mercy, every last one of y'all be up out of here. Because my will would go shoot into everything real at a blink of an eye. Let it go roll. But that grace and mercy pull up, say, hold up, Will. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going the way it's going. He said, that's his mercy and grace. Seeing it through. Seeing his will through. And carrying it all the way through. While men down here clowning like they got it made. They don't want to know this. They don't know nothing. So I would suggest each and every last one of you all to try to find your person in you. To get to know who he is. Because he is awesome to know. And how he does is as far as letting you feel things, he loves for you to feel things. Because when you feel things, guess what? Guess what happened? You didn't grip the hem of his garment at the kingdom of his throne. That means, hey, you can feel it. Well, now you know where I'm coming from the kingdom. That's why he wants you to feel it. He don't want you to feel it to the point where you can't live, or it hurting you, or it's killing you, or it's destroying you. He just wants you to feel who he is. Feel that power. Feel that authority. Feel that creator for who he is. Stop trying to go around here and get all the glory for yourself on these devil platforms, because that's what they're doing. I did a video earlier about prophets and prophetess. I can't even see them even doing anything that would call themselves to try to draw the multitude of any kind. Only multitude they want is the multitude that's going to give them likes and subscribers. How can you grab so many, how can you desire so many likes and subscribers and so many praise, so much support, but you ain't leading the people nowhere but to your page? You ain't giving them food for their spirit. I used to always think, when you go and you join a church or a place of worship, give or take 3 years should do it. Give or take 3 years. Some people don't even need 3 years. After those 3 years, you're supposed to swoop a coup. Keep it going. You're not supposed to be sitting there playing with them people. You're supposed to get enough food to get up out of there. You're not supposed to be just staying right there. And if you stay right there, you got to come on top of what's there. Because the Most High ain't you can't come up with nobody that the Father used that he kept them at a one level. No, that's not how he rumbled. He never kept no one that he used to represent him on this earth, and everybody still, because he used him and he moved him from one level to the next level to the next level. Even if it was the level of death, they finished the course. But they didn't stay just right there. They moved into the direction. But here, these people think these devil platforms is set here to make them famous. It's supposed to be all about them. And this is what caused them to get so offended when someone says something that caused them to be offended. You can say a lot of things on this devil platform and people will get offended. Why? Because the judgment then tapped into the inner man. And they don't like that feeling. They can't stand that feeling. And they'll get on and they'll start teaching and preaching to get that feeling up off of them. Let me do these many videos and talk about this to get that feeling off. Because the conviction is so heavy, they're trying to find a way to get it off. And they figured, I can get anything off of me. All I have to do is have all these people teach and speak, and all these people come on here praising me and ain't giving nobody no food for the spirit. But the people don't want food. They don't need food for the spirit, y'all. And Deborah had to realize, Deborah, how you expect somebody to give somebody food for the spirit if they are the serpent seed? How is serpent seed gonna give anybody food for the spirit? I didn't think of it like that. I figured that people wants to come on here and role play it as if they're representative of the Most High Yah. But yet, this is what he was saying when he said, you'll know them by their fruit. Because the way that they conduct themselves is not spiritual. You see? Anybody in the live chat, if you have any questions, we can rumble regarding those questions. But I wanted to let you know the final word from the Most High Yah to me was, Deborah, back then in the days of Noah, no one saw it coming. My grace and mercy was upholding my will then, and my grace and mercy is holding up my will today. It's not holding it, stopping it. It's holding it up. And if you only knew why it's holding it up, it's to keep the will so that it can be done. That's it. Praise the Most High Yah. And that's the thing about it. I say that all the time, and you all probably would think that something is wrong with Sister Deborah when she go to bed at nighttime. When I wake up in the morning, I feel sad for the Creator, because I sit and think, I said, Dad, look at all this stuff he done. Look at who he is, and how did we get it wrong all the time? Why are we so? And we won't give him no glory, y'all. We just won't give him the glory for nothing. And that's what I was thinking about all day today, of how we as a people. And you know what? Honestly, I speak of even myself, Father. And that's always my prayer. I'm sorry that I ain't the best that I need to be. And I said, but help me to be the best that you know that I can be, Father. And that I'm sorry for all the things I've done, I've said, I've taught, I spoke, I walked, I act that displease you. Because it's no one on the face of the earth that I want to displease outside of you. It's only you that I'm concerned about. Only you, Father. And it does. It is a very, very sad, down deep within, because it's like, you know, he created all things. You know, he got all power, and you're trying to figure out why you're feeling this thing, you know? And I think that it was his will for anybody and everybody to be close to him, you got to feel this thing. And like when you were saying sad right now, you don't believe that's a part of that feel I was talking about. Because you have to somewhere say, well, wait a minute. We know you created it all, but it's sad that how could you be all of that and nobody are willing to see you to be all that and some. You know, it's just sad. It's a sad thing. It really is. They go from level to level. I heard that the true worshipers goes from level to level and glory to glory. Praise the Most High Yah. Someone says this is a great mystery. Okay, what was that? Praise the Most High Yah. Yeah, I don't know why. I think that this is what I'm thinking. Somewhere I'm trying to find out. And you know what I'm gonna do? That's gonna be my next thing that I'm gonna put before the Father in a way that I brought before him today, the way I came to him, because I wonder about that. Because I'm like saying, okay, we in the dark hour. Why isn't it no light of revival? Why isn't it no one is trying to unite with the one? Why ain't the righteous trying to unite with each other? Y'all get what I'm saying? You see how the sons of Yah went to the daughters of Yah. Went to the daughters of men. They were united in doing that. What is going on where we that are the light under the spirit and truth, there's no revival going? Sister Deb be the first one in line, first person coming to attend a revival of that source. I will be one that would attend because it just seems strange. But then he's going back to what he said. Grace and mercy is holding up the wheel. But yeah. You say what you said about grace and mercy. Grace and mercy, he said to me, was holding up his will back in the days of Noah. And that it is holding up his will in this day and time. If it had not been for grace and mercy, his will would have been done. Praise the mighty. He letting you know it won't be no time. That's it. So because of grace and mercy, it's upholding his will. What you say? One reason is many are snake bite bitten. That's right. I know that's right. And I think it's a lot. I believe it has to be, because he said broad gate, those that's going through the broad gate. So it would have to be. Mm-hmm. Glory to Yah. I know that's right. Yep. So did anyone want to give any information to those that are in the live chat? If y'all put on something on your heart, or he said something that maybe that you could share with all of us in the live chat, or someone have any questions or any answers. But honestly, maybe take out time to read Genesis 6. And I'm to the point where I'm like saying, okay, but you know what he did tell me? He told me, Deborah, back in the days, I had prophetess. You never heard about them getting murdered or going through what the prophets went through. And I said to the Father, I said, that's it. I never, ever heard it. And not that and I didn't hear it from him. It's more so than anything. So I will say that I just don't, I really don't. I don't know. Because when you thinking you going one way, there's so many other issues coming another way to go after the way that you are going. You see? So I understand Paul when he says what he said. But yet in all, the Father is still on the throne. That's the beauty of it all. He still sits on the throne. He's still who he said he is. Even if we don't ever be what we should be or what we say that we are, the Father is who he is all by himself. He was and he is. And he's going to be. He has always been. He don't need nobody else. We might think he need us. He don't need us. Need us to do what? What we ain't gonna do? No. We don't understand the work has been finished. Heavens had already sealed it in, locked it in, and locked it out. And I need to cover also more about Yeshua separating himself from the Father, because throughout his whole mission in him ministering, he was constantly reminding Sister Deborah that, see, Deborah, this is me over here. This is him. He doing this here. He doing this here. And all of that was a part of my young understanding and learning. It's where that's you hear this thing said, study to show thyself approved. That means we can study just to show that we are desiring and seeking. But when that ruach comes, that ruach of the Creator come, he's going to divide it all up and put it in the right perspective. Okay? Oh, yes. Woo-wee. You sure right about that. That is so true. That's true. But you remember also when he was talking about the ones that's in his hand, no man can pluck them out. Because even so we can imagine how Yah feels. Yep. But just think of this though, about him being, yeah, we can't imagine. Because we heard from that. And many of the angels will never return to him because he says they didn't come from him. And that will be the reason, meaning they didn't come from his spirit. They came from his power and was given to the serpent seed. But honestly, when we let me show y'all a little story. This can't be no story because it was taught to me. Listen to this. When there was an issue in heaven, Satan, Lucifer, thought that he had it going on because he thought he had a look on himself, a sound on himself, and he was just thinking he was the brightness and he just had it going on. So he really wanted more control and more power to control. My issue, I told you I don't have no sense, and I have never denied I don't have no sense. I said to the Father, when you thought his thought, you should have booted him out so he won't mislead others. Now, hear what I just said now. So when he was teaching me it, I'm like, wait a minute, I got some questions. You knew his thought. Why didn't you boot him out before he tainted other angels? That's the question I put before the Father. And then you wouldn't have had to get rid of other angels that wanted to follow him because they would not have known what he was doing. The Father said, no, Deborah, don't go like that. Because once he thought it, heavens were tainted the moment he thought it. The thought were implanted in the kingdom because he thought it, Satan. So if he thought it, this is what the Father was teaching me. The heavens were tainted because he thought that he wanted to control and power. So therefore, if I would have deleted him, there would have been confusion. What happened? Because the thought that he had thought had already spread it. So when I get rid of him, there was others. That's how powerful that one thought was. So say, this is what he said to me. So say if I boot him out, the problem still reside. Because it should not have ever been present in the kingdom from the beginning. And because it was, like we would say, oh, Eve chose the fruit and brought, when she took of it, they brought sin. No, baby. That started in the kingdom, not on the earth. So I said, but if you kick him out, then the other ones will be okay. Then they wouldn't have followed him, or then he wouldn't have been able to manipulate them. He said, no, He had to remain. Because the moment he thought it, it spread the thoughts of others. At that time, because it shouldn't have entered in, but that one thought had spread. Had I kicked him out, then what? You still got other thoughts. And then you got the whole idea of what happened to him. What did he do? You see? So what I did is I left him there. To those that decided that they want to tag along, I set up a blueprint, set up a plan, blueprint, and it had a beginning and it had an end. Instead of having you all in the kingdom, I'm going to bring y'all bad boys to the earth. How about that? How about that? And that's what he did. He brought them to the earth. He separated them from the kingdom and brought them to the earth. So what happened? Anybody know what happened? After that, they're down in the uttermost darkness, chained up, the third, and Satan is on the earth. And I'm sure there were those who came with him on the earth as well. So what happened? What's going on with heaven? Anybody in the live chat? What is going on in the heavens now? Satan is now down on the earth. We got a third chain up in the uttermost darkness, and he using them bad boys. The Most High y'all using them bad boys to bring all the plagues to forth. Y'all didn't know that, did you? He said he saved them for the day of destruction. See, he used all his pieces. That's how powerful he is. He can use all his pieces. So what happened? Anybody in the live chat, do you have any idea what happened in the heaven? Satan down on the earth with a few of his demons, his angels, and you got a third in the uttermost darkest chain. What's going on in the kingdom? Anybody in the live chat? What's going on in the kingdom? Something going on in the kingdom. Something going on in the kingdom. Well, it was like he said at first. If he would have tossed Satan out, then there still would have been those that were tainted by what he was doing and how he was going about doing it. They were somewhat what you call warring. Yes. You know why? They're trying, in a sense, this is how he was saying to me. They were still yet desiring to follow Satan. They was between wanting to follow him and wanting to stay. Wanting to follow Satan, but yet wanting to stay. You can't stay in the kingdom like that, said the Most High Yah. So I tell you what, let me give you a little taste of my plan. Those that wanted to follow Satan, guess what? I'm going to bring you down in human flesh. And you're going to worship Satan. I'm not just going to just say, okay, kick all of y'all out. In a way, I am. But I'm going to bring you to the earth in human flesh. And if you see where you want to follow Satan, go on and follow. But I tell you what I'm going to do. Yes, it was contaminated. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. So guess what he said? He said, but let me tell you something. You angels, y'all going down there to follow Satan. Y'all put these angels in flesh bodies, y'all. These angels is not falling out of the sky or falling out of heaven like they still got the authority and the right to fall down. No, baby. No way. Okay? So I don't know where they're getting that mess from. But I will tell you this. He put the angels in human flesh. Let me give you a little taste of something. How do you think that Adam and Eve, when they came down, they didn't waste time with the tree of life or the tree? Listen to what I'm saying, or the tree, the other trees. They didn't, don't forget, there was 2 trees in the midst, but there were other trees. They didn't waste their time. They didn't waste their time, y'all. They went straight where they wanted to go. Their spirit was a serpent seed. They went straight to the serpent tree. You see where I sit and tell y'all this stuff started in the heaven. They already knew their which destiny. Why you say that, Deborah? Because think, when the Father created everything, did not he created it perfect? Everything was perfect. Adam and Eve was perfect. Why couldn't they go to that perfect tree called the tree of life? If Adam was perfect, Eve was perfect, and everything the Most High Yah created was perfect. What else was perfect? There was no what you call iniquity on the earth at this time. So what happened? How did they just come down here and run straight to the serpent tree? Because they were coming from above. They couldn't wait to get here. That's why they didn't, it didn't matter they was perfect. They was on a perfect, everything y'all gave them was perfect. And then he made them perfect. But how did their perfect choose Satan's seed? Because heavens has sent them already down. Because that's where they were, in the heavens, wanting to follow the serpent seed. So as soon as they got down here, what did they do? They didn't waste no time. They had many other choices, but they didn't waste no time, because there's no way that the serpent seed, now the tree of life of good and evil was right next to, no, not the tree of life. The tree of knowledge of good and evil was standing right there next to the tree of life, the perfect tree. How did 2 perfect people turn from the perfect tree of life to the tree of good and evil? Because that was their destiny. That was already who they were from the heaven. You see what I'm saying? So that's why they chose Satan. That's why Cain was born by those same two. He was a serpent seed. Abel, you won't find one scriptures that's really tell you that Adam and Eve knew each other and they brought forth Abel. You won't find it. You won't find it because they didn't. You'll never hear nobody teach and preach that. They will never tell you. It is so much righteous and perfect things that men and women will not teach you all. They rather teach you the lie. It's almost like they feel that that's what's set up in you is the lie, and that you embrace the lie more than you would embrace the truth because they are lies. You see what I'm saying? They're not accountable, or they're not going to be held accountable. Why? Because they are the children of the father of lies. So they're only being who they are. It's you that's going to get messed up from the floor because you sitting here entertaining them. Really, when you're entertaining them, it also shows you what seed you are. When you entertain people who are not putting your father, the creator, on the highest pedestal, these are people who puts him below and themselves high. When they're not teaching spirit and truth with the light in the right hand, these are people of the serpent seed. Plainly seen, but yet they see not. People see not. So what the Father did is this. Now, this tell me, don't this sound righteous? Watch this here. Father said, Deborah, the serpent, Satan, what he wanted power and authority, and then now he on the earth, he gonna have him a little something. I'm gonna send them all down there to him. Since they still up here wondering what he was doing, I'm sending them to him. He said, I told him that yours coming down as the serpent seed, and mine's going to be the spiritual seed. The Father decided that, okay, instead of it all being serpent seed, I'm going to send my spiritual seed down. And my spiritual seed is going to hate wicked and evil. And the serpent seed is going to hate righteous and the light. That's the battle on the earth, y'all. That's the true battle. If you want to talk about a war in Russia and China, you want to talk about the United States of America, you want to talk about any war, that's the true war. That's the real war. You got the serpent seed and you got Satan's seed. And what my baby said, my son said, he was young, he said, Joseph, he said, Mama, is Satan winning? Is he winning? I feel so sad for him. He said, Mama, is Satan winning? Is he winning? And he was looking so serious, y'all. Mama, you think Satan is winning? Is he winning? Don't forget, he comes down to deceive, not partial of the world, but the whole world. What do that mean? Even the spiritual seed. He's coming down to deceive you. And if you don't have greater in you, which is the ruach of the creator, then he that is in the world, you will be easy to be deceived. You see what I'm saying? That's the only thing gonna stop him from deceiving you to the level of where you won't choose the ways of darkness. Yeah, you might go into some area, but the spirit of the ruach, who is light, he's going to pull your bad butt out of darkness every chance you get, even if he has to cause things to come up on you. Oh, he'll pull you out. Oh, yeah, because he's not going to let you bring all that to the temple and he abiding in you. Oh, no. Even if he had to take you up out of here, he's going to do so just so he can save your spirit from damnation. That's how he rumbled. That's how he rumbled. That's what he did with the sons of Yah. He said, wait a minute, y'all tampering too much. Y'all done let the men and these women of serpent seed mess y'all up. Let me end this stuff. Let me put an end to it. You know, let's do this thing over again. Let's do it over. But did it change? No, it brought it right back. Anything y'all bring down, it's gonna come right back. It's gonna always come right back. Look at Ham, Noah in his private room, and he didn't have on any clothes. And his son came into his room, saw him, and yeah, he was tipsy because he had, I think they called it his wine, and he was laid out, sleep. Why is Ham lusting after his daddy's body? And then go back and tell his two brothers, come, see, father. That's a sick man right there. And this is another thing y'all don't understand. That was a father. That was a lineage right there. Who is Ham? Who is he? Is he the Hebrew Israelites? Is he African? Ham? Who is it? Because that's the same spirit exists today. And until people understand that you got to clamp Ham to what Yah said, you shall serve your brothers. What happened? Shem and Josaphat, guess what happened? What they did? They was weak too. They went into the room. Why are you going into the room, period? Why are you going into the room? Because Ham told you what to look for. Why are you going into the room? Your daddy in his private area. Yes, he might not have on any clothes, but it ain't for you to go looking to see what Ham is talking about. But what happened? They know the weakness of their flesh. They bagged backwards, and they had a shawl, something like unto a shawl. But they threw it over him as they bagged in backwards, so their eyes would not cause them to look upon their father's nakedness. But Ham, he didn't have it. He was looking. He was looking. And what all these things represent is the same spirit that's going on right now. And everybody bypassing and justifying and clarifying and thinking that all these things that's actually happening, oh, there ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing happened. And this is what he was telling me this morning. They done screwed everything up. Everything that was clearly seen, and is still clearly seen in the flesh. But when the spirit gives you the insight, you really can see what's what. But he's saying that the things that's not even just easily visual in front of you, clearly seen, is too much. They can see, everybody can see everything, but they rather make it a lie than to tell the truth of the whole matter. So Sister Deborah said that where I come with that one, I don't know. But heavens is a place. And if you ever wonder why we're going to get a new heaven, that's why. It's because the other one was tainted. Okay? He used it and also dispersed the seeds of Satan into flesh, along with his spiritual seed into flesh. That's why he said, born. Serpent seeds are born. They ain't fallen angels. What are they falling from? They're using it today, y'all. Big time. And I say to you all, people who lock in it and throw away the keys. Because once you get into that mindset, it's no way coming out. Now, don't get me wrong. Before, when I was a young girl, I'm a living witness to tell y'all this. As a young girl, I always believed in aliens, creatures. I always believed that there was other entities outside of Adam and Eve. When people were saying, oh, Cain took his sister and them and had babies by him. No, that's not what the Ruach taught me at 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. He taught me that Adam and Eve was the first. He created many more. So when Cain was talking about how they was going to hunt, the ones that might hunt him down and take his life. Come on now, y'all. Do that make sense? Is he the oldest of Adam and Eve? Who's coming to hunt him down? His baby brother? You see what I'm saying? It don't make sense. But when the Spirit of Yah comes, he'll give you the fullness and the closure of it all. And during that time, no one would believe it. But now I hear a lot of them talking about what I already knew when I was young. Now, I remember being in visions where he would show me creatures. And I would always tell my mother about it. Always. But I believe it was a form of building me up the way he wanted me to come up in. So, but I will not say to you all that there's fallen angels falling down onto the earth, having all this power and this control. That's a lie from the pit of hell. You fail to realize who got all control. You fail to realize who got all power. Why are we giving giants power? Why are we giving fallen angels power? Why are we giving Satan any power? You see, I don't get it. He's sitting here in the corner laughing. Woo, I always say I wanted to be have power and rule. And if he ain't doing it, he's doing it up. Because that's all they doing when they say stuff like this. They're giving him the power. But you don't hear the Spirit of Yah speaking to your spirit, telling you these things. So I'm not going to live to include every voice on this earth that says this. And this is something I have always knew, that melanated people has some of the weakest minds. They believe anything their slave master tell them. They believe if you white, you right. That's locked into their mentality. And I don't even think it have anything to do with slavery. I know you all might say it does. Because I had an issue, and I always had an issue, because I said to the Father, I said, okay, wait a minute. If the Hebrews came over here on slave ship, why didn't they, who put them on them slave ship? And who do y'all believe, do y'all really believe that the British, the Iran, no, it was African people who were doing the work for these other continent, British and Iran, Iraq. They were all in on it, but the work was from Africa. They were the one tying y'all tails down. They was the one making sure you was in the shackles, making sure they lay you side by side. When you're looking at that ship and all of them black people laying there, the Africans did that. And before they brought the ships over, you should see where the African people had y'all tails. But no one wants to dig into history to find that out. No, because we the same. They believe that, and this is, you all never knew why the Europeans and the Chinese and all of them have done African like this. They have always done the African people a certain way. You don't understand the rottenness of Africa. You all do not understand who those people really are. But if you keep reading your book, read Ethiopian, and see what it says. When he dealing with them, he gonna deal with them too. Why? They melanated, but what you gonna do to them, Father? They wicked. Judith always had a weak mind. Jacob said that he would. We believe anything and everything that people put out to us, but we don't believe in ourselves. So I thank the Father for his choice of pulling a spiritual Israel and Judah out of Israel and Judah. I do. Because I think he's entitled to all, especially those that he's going to rechange and give new hearts and clean up, that he see worth pulling out of Israel and Judah. And if Sister Deborah don't come out, so what? He's entitled to pull his out. And if I'm not included, so what? He's entitled to pull what is, what was, and what shall be in his new Jerusalem. He's entitled to that. He don't answer to us. We ain't nobody. He don't have to answer to us. He all that and something. We running around here thinking that he has to answer to us. He don't have to answer to us. We ain't answer to him. What are we doing? We ain't representing him. We ain't doing nothing to give glory to him and give him honor. We are in our little old shacks, in our houses, and in our little tents, and in our little room. Ain't saying nothing to nobody. Ain't doing nothing. Ain't trying to put him on the highest pedal, so ain't nobody doing nothing. So if I get left behind, I need to be left behind. And the Father knows, I tell him that all the time. Leave me behind. If I'm that rotten, leave me behind. And I'll be one of the ones, Father, y'all, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. No, I'm here today to say, he's been too good to me. He's proven himself to me. He's shown himself to me. Too many miracles and signs and wonders and visions and dreams. How can I dare? But if you see fit that I will not be the one, I still salute you, Father God, because you are worthy. You do it all. That's how we all should see him. No matter what go on in our lives, the turmoil, the chaos, the darkness, the sadness, death. Look at death as a two pair of shoes. One on the left foot, one on the right. They come together. That's how death is. You come in life and you go out death. That's like two pair of shoes. A pair of shoes, one on the left and one on the right. You don't go outside with one shoe on, do you? So that's how you have to take life and death. You see? Because none of it belonged to you. That's when you start to salute him and say, yeah, but you know, all is in your will, Father. Nobody wants to even look at him as if he's the key to life and death. He set it up real pretty for us, and we done took it and made a lie out of it. Had we kept the way he designed life and death, we right now today will be hooping and hollering, telling, please come get us, Father. Y'all, please come get us. Put us to sleep, Father, to judgment. Please, Father, if you understood what life and death is in its fullness, you will be glad that he ended. Because we really think it's something worth living on this earth. Something worth holding on to. All that you're going to experience. Sadness, heartache, sorrow, hurt, pain, suffering. How about that? How about that? See, that's what people ain't looking at. But when you salute him in any choice of his will that's already predestined, he see, this person ain't got no sense on the earth. They honor me in the spirit. You see what I'm saying? All this trash on this earth, all these platforms. And I pity people who really, y'all probably think I'm kidding with you. I do not. I sit back and watch these female, not Europeans, these melanated black female. A lot of them are marrying these white men but a lot of them have their husbands in the same nation. They having all these babies on YouTube just for the fame, just for the name of fame, just for the name of fame. And there was this lovely family that was in Mississippi. They bought land. They sold their house and everything they had in the city to buy land in Mississippi. And I sat back and I was watching them, and I watched them every now and then, maybe once or twice out of a month. The other day I was looking at their video and I'm like saying, who would go out and buy a big old excursion, an old one? But it's not an old, you can tell he probably paid some money for it, but and got all these, y'all, let me tell y'all, people are giving him money galore. Him and his family, you should see the gifts all over the world is sending him and his family. You should see all this that they gaining. And all they say, it's all about God. It's all about God. And then in my mind, Father, if it's all about you, why ain't they giving back? I don't get it. How can you build a platform and have these many people viewing you and you going out buying new cars? I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. She had an accident in her van. It looked like an old beat down van, and they gave her some money. And he went out and bought this big old truck. Now, he already had a truck, but he had a beat up truck. But the thing about it, everything they buy, they pay cash. Why is people giving them all this money and everything? Because they use it. It's all about God. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. They got 3 little bitty boys. Now she's pregnant again. See, what they found out, because this is one lady on YouTube, she had 7 children. You should see them little babies, little bitty babies. She just had one, probably less than 6 months. Now she's pregnant again, having twins. And if you just take one look at the husband, you can see that this is that's worn and torn. He's not going to make it too long. Nice looking young man, but you can look at him and see that he is just worn and torn because she's getting a thrill off of these platforms, call herself famous. You see, she has her babies on television. I mean, when I say her babies, this YouTube and TikTok and all this stuff is really stealing the minds of people. And when they steal your mind, they steal your spirit. Because your spirit ain't doing nothing right. It's your flesh. And I'm like sitting there, and she said, took the pregnancy test, and it said she was pregnant. She was like, and I mean, just clowning. And I said, woman, do you know what day you're in? Do you know what hour you're in? You two cut off this page, that check y'all getting, you will never see again. Now, how you going to be able to take care of these babies? They're not thinking that far. And these melanated women that's marrying these white men, they just dropping babies every time you turn around, dropping babies. It's like it's something in it for them, and they using the platform. And I have a problem with people using the Most High as a means for their platform when they give him no glory. They give him no honor. They give him no praise on these platforms. You know, it can't be all about God when it's all about you gaining. I don't understand that, y'all. Okay, Sister Deborah done said too much. I'm out. I appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in. And I hope that you did get something out of it. And always give Yah praise and glory and honor. I tell you what, do we have a topic we can talk about tomorrow? Anybody have a topic that we could? I know I want to cover Yeshua always revealing the Father. No, I see someone says Satan planted the seed in Eve's mind. She saw. I think Adam and Eve were the seed of Satan from the beginning. That's why they didn't hesitate to go nowhere but to the tree of knowledge and good and evil. They skipped all the other trees and the tree of life, which was right next to the tree of knowledge and good and evil. So I believe they were from heaven as the seed of Satan. Shalom, shalom. Submission. Oh, that's a good one. Submission. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I like that one. Submission. Submission. That's a good one. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. Submission. Submission. That's a good one. That's a real good one. And off the top, y'all ain't never created none of us to be up under the flesh of anybody. In case y'all didn't know that. Why would he call us to be submissive under the flesh? We must be submissive under the Spirit. We must be. Shalom, shalom. The Most High is the greatest. Yes, he is. Praise the Most High, y'all. So we're going to cover submission. And everybody, let me ask you, everybody, let's see if you can pull up, everybody, 2 verses regarding submission. Everybody. And what we're going to do, we're going to shoot out all our verses. And everybody going to put their chapter and their verse regarding submission, surrounding submission, and see how that turned out. But that's a good topic. And you really have to really be careful about it, because man has turned that word into a very controlling definition. And you have to take the submission by twos and make sure you let the spiritual submission override the flesh submission. And this is what you see in the world. That we'll talk about that tomorrow. But I appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in, and everybody going to come up with the verses in the chapter that covers the submission. And let us not get, like I say, lost in the submission of the flesh without putting on top of it the submission of the Spirit. So Sister Deborah said, I appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in, and I will be back. Shalom and shalom.